Hi there, I'm back. Well, day two. a little, uh, a little more awake this time. Not quite as groggy. Still, been a fairly long day. I currently working 3 jobs, so it kind of keeps me quite busy, literally every day of the week. And yeah, so I thought about the whole 1 bite, 2 bite message thing, and I'm kind of leaning more towards the 2 bite. Make this 2 parts. What those 2 parts will be exactly, I'm not certain. I mean, this is day 2, so where it goes from there, who knows? I just keep praying and seeking God's direction, wisdom, and guidance. And there's no script. There's no notes here in front of me. So whatever comes off is literally off the top of my head, inspired by the Spirit. So oh yeah, I am for starters, I'm wearing my orange every day this week, and of course Monday the following week is the orange shirt day. I do support this, and how I support it is the fact that, to me, yes, every child matters. And this particular shirt here, you look, this is it's done by an artist, and I'll read about him. Okay. This is a little bit about the artist and about what the organization behind this particular shirt. Okay. So it says, about the artist Patrick Hunter. Patrick Hunter is a Two-Spirit Ojibwe artist originally from Red Lake, Ontario. He specializes in acrylic paintings and digital designs inspired by his Ojibwe roots. I hope I'm saying that right. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. He creates with the intention of bringing more joy into the world while increasing the awareness of Indigenous cultures and iconography. To see more of Hunter's work, please visit www.patrickhunter.ca. I do encourage looking at that because, I mean, as you can see from this, he's quite talented. Now, about INDspire, or IndieSpire, is a national Indigenous charity that invests in the education of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. With the support of generous donors across the country, IndieSpire provides financial assistance, delivers programs, and shares resources to help Indigenous students achieve their highest potential. For more information, please visit www.indspire.ca. 100% of proceeds from the sale of this shirt are donated to IndieSpire in support of the Learning from the Past Fund. We should all learn from our past. History is very important. This fund provides bursaries to Indigenous post-secondary students pursuing an education in Indigenous studies and languages. And I think that's important on so many levels, really, because well, as for example, for the Indigenous, I mean, their culture is as old as the earth, really. They've been around for a long time, and what they pass on really shouldn't be lost. It should be kept. It should be preserved. And at the same time, it follows like traditional Jewish culture. How everything in the, we have, sorry, get this straight. We have a message today. We have a Bible today. We have God's Word today because, like what the indigenous are trying to do through organizations like this, people passed it on. They took the message, they took that word, and by word of mouth or writing it down in what other form, whether chiseling it in a stone or writing on papyrus, some form of paper, form of media, and passing it down from generation to generation to generation. And there was certain ones in amongst each generation who dedicated their lives. In a sense, they made it their job, they made it their duty to know the word so well, to know the message so well, that they could, to the best of their ability, accurately pass it down to the next generation. And it went so on and so on and so on until we have it here today. And that's one thing that is so important, to literally dig into the word every day. Every day. I mean, yes, I'm guilty. I don't do it as much as I should, but I am working towards rectifying that, to at least take one bite or 2 bites per day. Okay? That's like the doctor saying, take 2 of these and call my name in the morning. Well, take 2 scriptures and call on Jesus right now, as well as in the morning. The first bite I'm going to dig into here, I'm going to serve up the first plate, is, again, I'm drawing from this book, right? Oswald Chambers, My Utmost First Highest. I mean, it's been around for a while. Again, if you watched the previous video, I did read the intro there where it talked about the first publication and the revised edition. And Oswald Chambers, born in 1874, passed in 1917. And this publication, 1995. Yeah, copyright 1995. So this particular edition has been around for a little while. Okay, so digging in, and this one's speaking to me because I'm kind of at a point once again in my life. Another chapter. One chapter is closed and another chapter is about to begin. And I will at some point share more of my testimony. As a matter of fact, I do have in mind, whether via this channel or through another channel or another source, that I'll be sharing that, whether it be from this my cozy surroundings or a platform of some sort. Don't know for sure. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. Right? God only knows. And this one here is titled in particular, right? You can see that or not. Again, the small print, okay? Will you go out without knowing? Think about that for a minute. Would you go somewhere without knowing where you were going? Oh, hit the cord there. Sorry. Kind of on tilt. I remember back in the day, I've seen this on different shows and I've done this myself. Used to take this thing called a map. Huge piece of paper, okay? That folded out and you read it, right? I don't know how many people would know what that is, but you could Google it, or some are saying Google isn't as reliable as it used to be, so you can chat GPT, what is a map? Okay, and it's this huge sheet of paper that we would fold out, right? This pamphlet that we would fold out, right? Be like this huge thing, and it would have all the directions to where you wanted to go. You followed this map to get from point A to point B. Nowadays, you could just put it in your phone, or just say, you know, Alexa or Siri or whatever, and take me here, right? And boom, you got directions. Away you go. Well, back in the day, we had this big old map, and what we would do is sometimes if we felt adventurous enough, okay, we would take maybe either blindfold or take some darts, right? We would throw darts at this map, and wherever it landed, wherever the dart landed, or blindfolded, we would walk up and just point, put our finger on the map, and then when we remove the blindfold or see wherever the dart landed, that's where we would go, right? No questions asked, no idea, no nothing about where it was we were going. We just go, right? Nowadays, you can look ahead, you can Google the place, you can basically take a tour and not even be there, right? But here's the question. Will you go out without knowing? He went out not knowing where he was going. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8 is our verse. Now, I totally started this. Okay. I forgot something. Last night, I had my trusty Lunisk glasses. All right. And if I'm going to put these to the test and potentially improve my vision, I got to set these aside and put on my Ray Charles. You know Ray Charles. Okay. Google Ray Charles. But the only resemblance between me and him is the glasses. He's darker, dark shade of brown, okay? Like, I don't know, the terms change so much, and people are like, you can't say this, or you can't say that because this offends me, or that offends you, or whatnot, and again, I wouldn't consider Ray Charles from another race. I wouldn't call him black. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. As a matter of fact, I think it was Morgan Freeman, I believe. I could be wrong. Pretty sure it was Morgan Freeman who said, basically told the person that was interviewing him that he did not want to be called black. He did not want to be called African American. Because, again, race was only a categorization, really. It only was originally a categorization of people of different color, right? We're all people. We're all human. We're all, we all have DNA, right? We all have a brain. right? We all have free will thinking, right? So ideally, race just kind of was taken from what it was originally purposed for and used as a divider. It built up walls. It caused segregation. Racism. Yeah. Racism kind of goes hand in hand. So ideally, we should not think of race, but we're all human beings. We're all on this planet together, right? Ideally, I mean, you're my brother, you're my sister, right? We're just like, you know, some have a little more soul than others. I'm just kidding. Kidding. Nobody is above the other. We're all in the same level playing field, all right? We just all have different talents. We have different ways of learning, but we're all on the same journey, okay? Speaking of journeys, have you ever gone out in this way? If so, there is no logical answer possible when anyone asks you what you are doing. One of the most difficult questions to answer in Christian work is, what do you expect to do? You don't know what you are going to do. The only thing you know is that God knows what He is doing. Continually examine your attitude toward God to see if you are willing to go out in every area of your life, trusting in God entirely. It is this attitude that keeps you in constant wonder, because you don't know what God is going to do next. Each morning as you wake, there is a new opportunity to go out, building your confidence in God. Do not worry about your life, nor about the body. Luke 12:22. In other words, don't worry about the things that concerned you before you did go out. Have you been asking God what He is going to do? He will never tell you. God does not tell you what He's going to do. He reveals to you who He is. Do you believe in a miracle working God? And will you go out in complete surrender to Him until you are not surprised one iota by anything He does? Believe God is always the God you know Him to be when you are nearest to Him. Then think how unnecessary and disrespectful worry is. Let the attitude of your life be a continual willingness to go out in dependence upon God, and your life will have a sacred and inexpressible charm about it that is very satisfying to Jesus. You must learn to go out through your convictions, creeds, or experiences until you come to the point in your faith where there is nothing between yourself and God. That was a big bite. Yeah. Could you fully and completely trust God with your life, with every step of the way? I tell you, again, like I said, I'm 50 years old. When I was 12, back in 1987, is when I first made my decision to follow Jesus. And since then, I I do not in no way, shape, or form consider myself perfect. No way. No, sir. No. As a matter of fact, I have made a gajillion mistakes. A gajillion. I've screwed up royally a million ways from Sunday. And like I say, I've fallen flat on my face more times than I can recall. But every time I fall down, every time I screw up, I get back up and I keep moving forward. And believe you me, there has been many, many, many times when I did not want to go any further. There's been many, many times that the enemy had me thoroughly convinced not to go on. There was so much pain and agony. I just wanted it over. I wanted it to stop. I just could not see myself going on. I just didn't have it in me. But you know what? Each and every time I get to that point where it's just so dark you just cannot see past yourself. You just cannot see past the difficulty. You can't see past the obstacles. You can't see past the failures and the hurts. And then God I tell you, that's why, you feel like you're completely and totally alone. You're not. Because somebody somewhere is praying on your behalf. When you are in those moments, someone somewhere is praying on your behalf. Say, hey, God's not done with you yet. God's not done. Well, why do so many people go through with it? Why have so many people done it? Like, just ended it all. Those people very, 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 very unfortunately have lost connection with the one true life-giving God that cares about them. They've totally lost that connection. As long as you have that connection, as long as there's one iota, one glimmer of hope, God does not want you to end it this way. God wants you to put the gun down. Put the knives away. Dump the bottle in the sink. Throw the pills in the trash. Get out of the car and go home. Get out of that situation and go home. And find yourself find yourself a church family that when you walk in through the doors, that they have both arms open wide to accept you in and show you nothing but the same love that Christ showed them. If you walk into a church building and they look at you with condemnation and judgment, it's not our place to judge. And I'm not judging them. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't realize. But I tell you what, if they look down their nose at you, if they judge you by the way you look, how you dress, maybe you've had such a rough week and you've been living on the streets, and maybe you got a little street smell on you. They turn their nose up at you. I'm sorry, but that's not. Turn around, walk out, go to the next building, and don't stop until you find that place where they welcome you in and they shower you with the love of God. And they bless you with the same blessings that God has blessed them. Because when God showers of blessings on you, it's supposed to pour out. It's supposed to be overflowing, right? I want to get to the point where it's so overflowing in my life that everywhere I go, somebody gets blessed. Somebody. Just everywhere I go, anybody gets blessed in one form or another. If I had $1 million today, I'd be broke tomorrow, because I would just go out and bless them. I'd invest some so I could live off the interest and still keep blessing, putting forward, right? But yeah. So here's the 2-bite. Time's getting kind of on. I did have a little something else in mind to share, but that will go into the next video. And listen, keep digging into that book every day. You don't have one? There's tons of versions online. There's apps galore. There's the YouVersion app that I use, and it's got literally every version. You could start with a real easy one. A real easy one I find it's really easy to read. I mean, some people say it's not the most accurate, but hey, you're having trouble understanding and you're brand new, try The Message. All right? The Message. As a matter of fact, I'll just give you an example. All right? We'll just give an example. Okay? This is in, actually, I'm going to go with my go-to verse. My go-to verse is in Matthew. This is the one that, this is my life verse, okay? And I'll give you the version that I grew up with first, and then I'll read from here. It says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Meaning, seeking God first in everything that you do, everything that you, like literally every part of your life. And every need supplied. Everything will quite literally look after itself. It was the times that when I wasn't seeking God, when I was living for myself, I was going with the flow, going with the ways of the world, and that's when things started to crumble. Like literally crumble. And it wasn't until I started digging in and seeking God, like seeking God in relationships, seeking God in finances, seeking God in doing my job, things start coming together. And I know that, oh yeah, this is all like, you're getting preachy here, you're trying to tell me what to do. I said, well, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm living. Okay? And I hope that my example, again, like I said, I make mistakes every single day. But, like the profession that I'm in now, one thing that myself and all the coworkers say repeatedly, never stop learning. Never stop learning. Never. Okay? So, I'm going to just quickly go through this, and it's going to turn into a 2-bite, or probably 3-bite now. So, starts out Matthew chapter 6. I'm going to start right at verse 1 because basically give you the context. Okay? The world is not a stage. Be especially careful when you are trying to be good, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauding. When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You've seen them in action, I'm sure, play actors, I call them, treating prayer meeting and street corner alike as a stage, acting compassionate as long as someone is watching. Playing to the crowds, they get applause, true, but that's all that they get. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks. Just do it. Quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God, who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. Pray with simplicity. And when you come before God, don't turn that into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for 15 minutes of fame, do you think God sits in a box seat? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there, as simply and honestly as you can manage. The focus will shift from you in God, and you will begin to sense His grace. The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. They're full of formulas and programs and advice, peddling techniques for getting what you want from God. Don't fall for that nonsense. This is your Father you are dealing with. He knows better than you what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray very simply like this. Our Father in heaven, reveal who you are. Set the world right. Do what's best, as above, so below. Keep us alive with 3 square meals. Keep us forgiven with you and forgiving others. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge. You can do anything you want. You're ablaze in beauty. Yes, yes, yes. In prayer, there is a connection between what God does and what you do. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you cut yourself off from God's part. Excuse me. When you practice some appetite-denying discipline to better concentrate on God, don't make a production out of it. It might turn you into a small-time celebrity, but it won't make you a saint. If you go into training inwardly, act normal outwardly. Shampoo and comb your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face. God doesn't require attention-getting devices. He won't overlook what you are doing. He'll reward you well. A life of good worship. Don't hoard treasure down here where it gets eaten by moths or corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasure in heaven, where it's safe from moth and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place where your will most want to be and end up being. Your eyes are windows into your body. If you open your eyes wide in wonder and belief, your body fills up with light. If you live squinty-eyed in greed and disgust, your body is a musty cellar. If you pull the blinds on your windows what a dark life you will have. You can't worship two gods at once. Loving one God, you'll end up hating the other. Adoration of one feeds contempt for the other. You can't worship God and money both. If you decide for God, living a life of God worship, it follows that you don't fuss about what's on the table at mealtimes or whether the clothes in your closet are in fashion. There's far more to your life than food you put in your stomach. More to your outer appearance than the clothes you hang on your body. Look at the birds, free and unfettered, not tied down to a job description, careless in the care of God, and you count far more to Him than birds. Has anyone, by fussing in front of the mirror, ever gotten taller by so much as an inch? All this time and money wasted on fashion, do you think it makes that much difference? Instead of looking at the fashions, walk out into the fields and look at the wildflowers. They never primp or shop, but have you ever seen color and design quite like it? The 10 best dressed men and women in the country look shabby alongside them. If God gives such attention to the appearance of wildflowers, most of which are never even seen, don't you think He'll attend to you? Take pride in you. Do His best for you. What I'm trying to do here is to get you to relax, to not be so preoccupied with getting, so you can respond to God's giving. People who don't know God and the way He works fuss over these things, but you know both God and how He works. Steep your life in God, reality, God initiative, God provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. Give your entire attention to what God is doing right now, and don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come up when the time comes. In a nutshell, God will see you through. He takes so much care in the detail of flowers that may never be seen by the human eye, by any of us. How much more detail and care is he going to put into you? Think about that. If you take the time to dig into this word one bite at a time, and I'll do my best to keep up with this. And like I said today is kind of almost giving into the flesh here. And that's when I realized, when the flesh is really saying, nah, let's just hit the sack early. Let's just call it a day. We can do this tomorrow. Do this tomorrow. That's when I'm like, yeah, gotta do this right now. So, because it's important, right? It's important to share. It's important to grow and to learn. And I hope that, as I say, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this for likes, shares, subscriptions. None of it. None of it. If you want to, great. By all means, have at it. I'm not doing this for another source of income. I'm not doing this to get paid by it. I'm not looking for any of that. Although I won't say no. If YouTube or anybody wants to cut me a check, I will not turn it down. But that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm here to pass it on. There's a message that needs to be passed on from generation to generation to generation to generation until the Lord comes back, until our time comes. Okay? So every day I want to do my best to do my part. We live in a day and age where literally I'm sitting here recording this, right? And somebody from literally Japan, China, and somebody from the other side of the world could be watching this. So we're in a day and age where we can literally reach the world right from your living room. Now that doesn't mean don't go out, don't physically go out. Well, by all means, physically get out there. Get out there, meet people. I meet people every day, and I pray for opportunities to be that example. Again, we all make mistakes. We all live. We all learn. And sometimes I've said and done things where I just like, oh man, it's out my mouth before I even stop it. And I'll talk more about that another time. We're not perfect. We just do our best. And that's all God really asks. You just do your best every day. Keep growing, keep learning, right? Keep, one bite at a time. All right? So, until next time.